send multiple players at LeBron. Down to 5, down to 3.
Make somebody else beat you.
A 3 on the way. He got it!
Make somebody else beat you. Take the ball out of his hands.
The game is over.
Yes, it is.
You cannot secure and attempt the shot inside of 0.3 of a second by...
When contemplating the controversial topic of the greatest player of all time, people often mention players like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, Magic, and Bird, but they often leave out the most obvious choice. I guess it's because they want to give everyone else a shot at greatness. But since people seem to have forgotten just how great Brian Scalabrine truly was, I'm going to remind everyone who the GOAT really is.
Ready for action, nip it in the bud, we never relaxing. Outcast is everlasting, not clashing, not at all. But see, my nigga went to do a little acting.
Brian Scalabrine was born on March 18, 1978 in Long Beach, California. After training for some hours, he discovered his calling of basketball, and upon delighting in a new recipe of chicken parmesan, which replaced chicken with an extraterrestrial species of goat, he knew that he'd become the greatest basketball player of all time. While playing basketball for the Enumclaw, Washington high school team, averaging 93.6 points, 62.9 rebounds, and 64.5 assists per game on 97.2% shooting as a freshman, he knew that despite the media crowning Michael Jordan as the GOAT, the former NBA champion, MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year was no match for him. Brian continued working hard every day and eventually went to USC, where he would play for 3 seasons, averaging 78.2 points, 57.3 rebounds, and 49.2 assists on a ridiculous 99.2% from the field in only 12 minutes per game. He realized after his time in high school that his teammates had to learn to play without him, so he cut down on his shot attempts and minutes while boosting his efficiency. This may have been a mistake though, because in 2001 he declared for the NBA draft, where he plummeted far below his own expectations, falling all the way down to the 34th pick with the New Jersey Nets. In recent years, many historical analysts have questioned why he fell so low, but the most commonly accepted reason is that the GMs must have believed he was a fluke who couldn't possibly maintain his unbelievable production for an entire NBA season despite having done so for 3 seasons in college. But boy were they wrong. Angered by such a disrespectfully low draft pick, Brian Scalabrine trained harder than ever before. Noticing that the most common criticism against him was his lack of athleticism, Brian pushed his body to the upper limits of human capability, even surpassing the super soldiers being developed in Area 51. His movements were too fast for the human eye, and often couldn't even be caught by cameras, so after hearing several reports of his impossible speed, NBA Commissioner David Stern implemented new high-speed cameras that could record at over 5 million frames per second, fast enough to see the pixels loading up on a television screen. In his rookie debut, Brian put up what was to him an abysmal stat line of 63 points, 39 rebounds, 32 assists, 19 steals, and 17 blocks, making 18 threes and shooting 81.8% from the field. When asked after the game about his performance, he explained that he had been in a car accident a few minutes before the game started, but refused to miss his debut, despite having a torn ACL, 3 broken ribs, and 2 dislocated fingers on each hand. He ended the interview saying, "I'll just have to be better next game," which he did. He played even better next game as well as the rest of his rookie season. After playing through his injuries for a month, his averages skyrocketed. He finished his rookie season with averages of 67 points, 48 rebounds, 42 assists, 17 steals, and 18 blocks per game while also shooting a respectable 86.3% from the field, 79.8% from 3, and 96.8% from the free throw line. He finished second in MVP voting and 4th for Rookie of the Year after the Nets won 26 more games than in 2000. Although he felt he deserved the awards, he knew he had a lot to improve. Even though he had beaten Kobe Bryant in 16 games of one-on-one in a row as a rookie, he felt his competitive mentality could be greatly improved. So, in the offseason, Scalabrine journeyed to the African Serengeti where he lived without any outside assistance for 2 months while he trained his body, soul, and mind. One day though, he ran into one of the continent's most dangerous creatures, the mamba. This mamba, however, was no ordinary snake. It was 73 feet long and had the strength to break a redwood in half with its tail alone. Its mouth could swallow an elephant whole and its scales were as white as snow and tougher than steel. But Brian was unfazed. He stood in front of this kaiju-like creature and stared directly into its eyes. Unafraid, Scalabrine climbed the snake and, in a process which had lain dormant for centuries, fused with the enormous creature, transforming into the white mamba. Without even a word or expression, Scalabrine calmly traveled back to New Jersey, having been revitalized through a journey of self-discovery and strengthening, and devoted himself as the white mamba to becoming the greatest anyone could ever be. Upon his return to the NBA, every player in the league could feel a difference. They knew there was no more hiding behind screens, no more lucky regions, no more unbroken ankles. Nobody was safe. Scalabrine was determined, and had finally achieved the one thing he had been missing: the white mamba mentality. The following 3 seasons, Scalabrine averaged 76.8 points, 73.3 rebounds, 80.2 assists, 33 blocks, and 29.6 steals per game in 21 minutes. He played longer now because his mamba mentality wouldn't allow his opponents within even 50 points at the end of games. Over these 3 seasons, Scalabrine only converted on 2 game winners since most of the games were too great of blowouts to require such a remarkable feat. However, after having seen players like Kobe and Michael hit so many game-winning shots, he felt compelled to do so as well. His skills had grown to even greater heights than years before. He consistently hit no-look full-court hook shots and had enough gravity to force defenders to guard him before he even looked at the ball, because once he caught sight of it, there was no stopping him. David Stern also had to enforce a new rule requiring Scalabrine to always pass in the ball because it was unfair to the other teams if he could receive the ball first on the inbounds pass. His shooting prowess was so far above anyone else's in the league that any shot Scalabrine took within half court was only considered 2 points, so his 3-point percentage actually refers to his full court shot percentage. Naturally, with a shooter this good, people always jumped on his pump fakes and took drastic measures to keep him from getting the ball, so he constantly got fouled. However, he was too good a free throw shooter to shoot at the normal line, so he had to shoot his free throws at half court. His ball handling abilities had also improved dramatically. He could make defenders who weren't even looking at him fall without even dribbling. I could describe every way his skills were above everyone else in the league, but that would make this video 2.5 days long, so I'll continue chronicling his career. Scalabrine continued his tear through the league for another 6 years, racking up many accolades including several selections to All-Star and All-NBA teams, DPOYs, MVPs, scoring, steals, assists, rebound, and block titles. He also won a championship every year during the 6-year stretch, accompanied by 6 unanimous finals MVPs, but after feeling a sense of satisfaction only a player with unparalleled dominance like Scalabrine's could experience, he decided to hang up the shorts. In an interview with Deborah Larden, he explained his decision, saying, "You know, I feel it's about time I gave the young guys a chance to thrive out here, just like I did. A chance to find that hidden talent deep inside them and discover what they're really made of. I can't live forever. I won't always be the face of the league, so it's gonna have to learn to exist without me, and I don't think there's a better time for that than now." He concluded his interview and followed it up with a long discussion with the then commissioner David Stern. Nobody truly knows what the two of them said to each other that day, but most people believe that, as Brian's final request, he chose to have his stats watered down to the levels of a lowly role player and to have nearly all of his high school, college, and NBA footage erased permanently, forever lost to time. People also believe that he had all of his awards, his MVPs, DPOYs, scoring titles, and so on, reallocated to the second place finishers of each year. He then had most of his championships rescinded as well. Many people have contemplated his decision, questioning why such an impeccably accomplished player, the greatest the NBA had ever seen, would willingly choose to be remembered as a scrub. Some people argue that he had secretly been using performance-enhancing drugs and chose to go down quietly, but most people say he retired because he just wanted to protect the league. If people knew the truth about his impossibly high accomplishments, nobody would ever want to play basketball again, fearing the harrowing sorrow was a failure, so he let Michael Jordan live on and continue his false reign as the GOAT. Nowadays, the only people who know about the incredible greatness of Brian Scalabrine are the people who saw him play firsthand. There's also another conspiracy being spread around among the NBA community that Brian Scalabrine has left the planet in search of the extraterrestrial goat species he had once consumed so many years ago to find out why they chose him. People say that the Brian Scalabrine you see today is only a replacement, a low-quality clone, which is why he can't perform the impossible feats the real Scalabrine had once so effortlessly achieved. All fans of the true Brian Scalabrine know that he has finally found his home among the stars, happy that he can play evenly with other GOATs like himself so he can at last have true competition. No regular human can possibly keep up with or even resemble the amazing skill and tenacity Brian Scalabrine possesses, so we quietly await his return to come back and once again show the world what it truly means to be the GOAT. Okay, that's the end of the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please leave a comment telling me what type of story you want me to cover next, and go ahead and subscribe too while you're at it. I'd really appreciate it. I've got more great videos coming on the way. Stay tuned.